Here with Coach Sean Kiracofe after the Lady Demons pick up a 3-2 win today. Another five. We want. It's just 5 sets. It's just what we do, I guess. Now this year again, still got a ways to go to get to the 14 that we played in last year, but we're well on our way, Coach.
Yeah, we have time and the chance. Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting that we have another 5-set match where we talked about not being able to close out on Thursday against Corpus in a 5-set. Looked a little sketchy there in those middle sets, but found a way today to close out. Had to make a run there in the 4th, and then just really kind of propelled us through that 5th set that was the biggest difference, closing out today.
Yeah, UIW is a great defensive team, and then there's nothing new about that. I mean, they have, for the last few years, been extremely scrappy. They don't let any ball drop, and we got really passive and kind of started to feel like we could throw the ball around and tip it and win against a team like UIW. That is not going to work, and so they were both extremely scrappy, just to use the word again, on defense, and then turn around and were really aggressive on their swings, and that resulted in some blocks for us, yes, but in a lot of those situations it turned out to good things and points for them.
Yeah. Gotta ask about early on in the match, and fortunately for us, it really flipped and changed, and I think maybe we settled down a little bit, but receptions were a struggle throughout the match, aces and allowing their offense to run smoothly, all that. But it feels like we just kind of settled and cleaned it up after those first 3 sets.
We did. So they had a couple servers, specifically 23, one of their setters, who serves a really deep ball where the bottom just falls out on the end line. And it was because we had called one out early, and our passers were like, all right, got it, let her drop, and it dropped in. Yeah. And it was just a really hard ball to get a handle on. Now, knowing what that ball is going to do, we did not do a great job, or it took us too long, I should say, to adjust about getting back there, clearing our hips so we could create an angle to get it back up to the net, or just being comfortable about grabbing it with our hands and throwing it up there. And in that situation, when you have a server that's that effective, I don't need 3 passes from them. I need 1s and 2s so that we can allow our setter to do something, allow our attackers to do something. And for a couple sets there, we were not doing that. And then they had some different servers that were completely different and just really low and aggressive. So they made it difficult, but I think we could have, once we saw what they were doing, we got to make adjustments, and it just took a little bit too long to do that.
You mentioned earlier the blocks, and mentioned how UIW was swinging hard, and it led to some blocks for us. And 4 blocks in the 4th, 4 blocks in the 4th set, 4 more in the 5th set, in that shortened set. How much? And we could talk about this maybe next week as a sort of an overall thing, but specifically today, it really feels like this team feeds off of those blocks and those plays, and you could see that in that 5th set for sure as we just kind of rolled through that one.
Right. I would agree with you. It's become an expectation. They do feed off the energy, like any team does. Blocks are cool. Yeah. That's what it is. And I'll go back to Corpus, where Corpus was doing a good job because of the speed of their game and just different ways that they were making choices on their swings. We didn't get a lot of blocks, and that seemed to be a little frustrating at times. And so to get them today, especially when we were struggling a little bit in serve receive, to have something kind of ignite something and get it going was both needed and good to see.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff to talk about for sure. So don't want to spend a whole lot of time on individual pieces, but maybe you want to just quickly run through a couple of thoughts on Bree. Fantastic today offensively, 11 kills, just 2 errors. Simone had a great all-around match. Of course, Reagan does what she does. Teresa, another double-double. Amina, another double-double. It's just a really good overall team performance in a match that we needed another good team performance.
You kind of wrapped it up there. That was a summer, and we had a lot of people do good things. And I would say, to kind of derail your question, it was it really came down to just kind of a group mental, emotional state of just like, all right, are we gonna allow this to keep going the wrong way that we're not happy with right now, or are we gonna turn around and prove that we're the better team? And that was there, and then it wasn't there, and that's what I said after the match. I mean, you got to be able to make a decision on what you think you are, and be stubborn with it. You're the better team. Now, it doesn't matter that you don't win at every point. It's impossible.
Right.
But go out there and be stubborn and like, we're good. We're going to beat you.
All right, Coach. Congrats on the win, and let's keep it rolling next week.
Thanks.